How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Multiverse sale. We've got some deals under the price of $10 to go over in this video. But before we get into this video, a quick word from our sponsor who will help you get these games even cheaper. How's it going, everyone? In this video, you're going to see us cover a bunch of great PSN game deals, but with these deals already available, you can get these deals even cheaper by utilizing ENEBA.com, where they've got $100 PlayStation Network keycards available even cheaper. So the idea is you'll want to stack these cards with the deals already available or anything that's available on the PlayStation Store. They've got $100 PSN cards down to $87. You'll have to pay a bit of a service fee, but you'll still get it much cheaper than that regular $100, and you'll stack that on top of the deals that the PlayStation Store is running, and you can get some great value offers. Not only that, if you don't want to take advantage of the deals that are available on the PSN Store, you can check out upcoming games. We got Doom the Dark Ages coming out later this month. We got Elden Ring Night Reign. There's going to be a lot of big games coming out that are going to be quite expensive, but you can get them a little bit cheaper by checking out eneba.com and getting yourself some PSN credit. Link in the description box below. And now on to the video. We got a lot of deals under the price of $10 to go over, so let's just get right into it. And let's kick things off with Infamous Second Son, which has recently been pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra. And you know, there are some rumblings out there that potentially the game will get remastered. And usually with that happening, you know, prices get juiced up. We saw it happen with Horizon Zero Dawn. We saw it happen with Days Gone. Might not be a bad time to buy Infamous Second Son if you don't have it. And regardless of all of that, those other factors, the game itself is really good. Do I think it's as good as Infamous 1? No. I haven't played Infamous 2 in so long. I didn't like Infamous 2 as much as Infamous 1, so Second Son might be better than Infamous 2. I'd probably go back and forth on that. I did like Cole better as a character in Infamous 1 over Delsin in Second Son, but I think I like Delsin better than Cole in Infamous 2. Just didn't vibe with Cole as much as in Infamous 2, but nonetheless, Second Son is a worthwhile game. It does feel a tad bit rushed in the sense that I really think Sucker Punch had a lot of pressure on them to get Infamous Second Son out as one of the big heavy hitters for the PlayStation 4 when it initially came out. It came out in that launch window, which was such an important time for PlayStation to drop all of these big exclusives that I think Infamous Second Son, if it had, you know, another 6 to 9 months in the oven, it could have ended up being a better game. The campaign itself is fairly short. Like, you can rush through it and beat it fairly quickly. However, you do have both karmatic routes to go through, so that does add a little bit of replayability. You got all that optional content. For $9.99, it's a great pickup. I definitely would give it a recommendation. Next up, Borderlands Legendary Collection, 80% off for $9.99. Excellent deal for the Borderlands Legendary Collection and all of the content that you're getting here. You're getting Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, and the majority of the DLC. You're just missing like the Tiny Tina DLC from Borderlands 2, which isn't a big deal. From a value standpoint, this deal is just insanity. You're getting so many hours of gameplay, and that's why a lot of the debate over, oh, this game is $70 or $80, but you're gonna get 100 hours of gameplay. You're gonna get 50 hours of gameplay. That doesn't track as much and as strongly anymore when you have older value deals like this that you're paying $9.99 for, and you're gonna be getting however many hours of gameplay out of this game. That's the big issue with that being such a big talking point. But I digress. Not to go on that diatribe right now. This is a great collection, and I thought Borderlands peaked with Borderlands 2. We'll see if Borderlands 4 can revitalize the franchise a little bit, and I say revitalize like Borderlands 3 didn't sell incredibly well. But Tiny Tina's Wonderlands did kind of tank, but that was a spin-off, so you can have that opinion. We'll see how Borderlands 4 does. Hopefully it turns out pretty well. Obviously, it's been under fire recently a little bit over our boy Randy Pitchford, and, you know, not the best tweeting game that he's got, but it is what it is. $9.99 for the Legendary Collection. Go check that out. Next up, we got Gravity Rush 2, 50% off for $9.99. Now, this is still available on PlayStation Plus Extra, but there was rumblings about this game getting a remaster as well. So we'll see if that at some point does come to fruition. I hope it does, because I love Gravity Rush. Also, the movie was in works, or like the animated series, whatever it was. Gravity Rush 2 was awesome. I loved Gravity Rush 1 back when it came out on the PlayStation Vita, and I thought it was a standout game on that platform. And Gravity Gravity Rush 2 without a doubt was the superior game. It was a better game in just about every area. It was more expanded, and it had so much charm to it. Gameplay is great, visuals are great, love the characters. $9.99 for Gravity Rush 2 is great. Unfortunately, you know, we had to spend however many $1 million on Concord, Fair Game, and all those canceled games that we couldn't greenlight Gravity Rush 3 and so many other of the great IPs that PlayStation has under their umbrella. So it is what it is. The best we could hope for is a remaster of a lot of these games, but yeah, $9.99 for Gravity Rush 2, great pickup there. Next up, we got Mafia 2, the Definitive Edition, 80% off for $5.99. If you're new to Mafia, I would recommend you to pick up the Mafia Trilogy, which gets you Mafia 1, 2, and 3 for like $11.99. That's probably the route you want to go. But if you want to pick up just one of them, Mafia 2 is a damn good time, or if you already played through Mafia 1 when it was a PlayStation Plus title, or whatever the case may be, Mafia 2 is a worthwhile game. I played Mafia 2 way back in the day when it initially came out, back in like 2010, and I remember being blown away by it in the game, in the sense that Mafia is always going to see those comparisons to GTA, but it's a different kind of experience where it's more focused, it's more of an emphasis on the core narrative, and I think that works fairly well, and I thought it worked rather well with Mafia 2. I thought they lost their way a little bit with Mafia 3 and the big open world approach, and I'm happy that they're going back to the roots with Mafia, the old country, because I think that works more for what Mafia is, and Mafia 2 really exemplified that for $5.99, a great pickup. Definitely give that a look, and $5.99 is great on that. Judgment, 75% off for $9.99. The RGG games are quite hot these days. You know, people wanted to check out Yakuza, people wanted to check out, you know, all of the games under their umbrella. As far as which game to start off with, the general consensus seems to be Yakuza 0. However, Yakuza 0 at this point does not have English voice acting, and I'm not going to say it's a dated game, but it's a little bit of an older game. I think Judgment's a really good starting point if you just want the RGG style of gameplay. You're also not embarking on this daunting undertaking, or this perceived daunting undertaking, where Yakuza is all these games. Judgment, it's just Judgment and Lost Judgment, and Judgment arguably is the best contained story that RGG has put out, in the sense of start to finish. Judgment 1 is so good. It is phenomenal. From a narrative standpoint, it is excellent. Gameplay is great. Yagami, while he is probably third in my favorite main characters when I break down Ichiban, Kiryu, and Yagami is still a phenomenal character. That should show you just how highly I think of Kiryu and Ichiban, but Yagami is still great, and Judgment was awesome. I would definitely give it a shout. If you're into action games, you're gonna really enjoy it. The English voice acting is great. $9.99, no-brainer there. Definitely give that a recommendation. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, 60% off for $7.99. Really good deal for Chrono Cross. It's one of those games that has a lot of that nostalgic appeal. I think when Chrono Cross came out, and again, this is a little bit before my time, it didn't click at the level of, you know, the FF7s of the world, or even the FF8s and 9s, but going back and playing it, it's a pretty good RPG. Is it gonna be one of those iconic, absolutely classic experiences? No, but with the quality of life improvements, I feel like Chrono Cross is a worthwhile game to go through if you're a fan of JRPGs. South Park: The Stick of Truth, 75% off for $7.49. Now, this is an RPG that completely blew me away, in the sense that I was totally surprised by how good it was. I don't know what possessed me to play this game right when it came out, because I wasn't a big South Park guy, still not a big South Park guy, but just ended up playing it, and it was hilarious. And on top of that, I think the fact that it was just such a competent and well-made RPG just made it even more funny. Like, where does a South Park game get off on being this well-made? Like, you just expect something that's kind of thrown together, utilizing the South Park IP, and not being an amazing game on top of that. But no, this is a well-crafted game while utilizing the South Park IP really well, and if you're a South Park fan, you're probably gonna enjoy this game even more than me. For $7.49, I think this is a great price, and if you're wanting more of a comedic, fairly quick RPG to go through, I think you're gonna have a really good time with that, so definitely recommend South Park: The Stick of Truth. Next up, we got Watch Dogs, the Complete Edition, $5.99 on this. Recently did a playthrough of this, and I had a pretty good time with it. I don't know what, again, sometimes the games I play, it's just I just get a feeling, and then I'm like, you know what, let me boot this game up and play through it again. And Watch Dogs was one of those games, and I ended up having a pretty good time with it. I remember the lead up to the release of Watch Dogs back in 2014. There was this immense amount of buzz, this immense amount of anticipation attached to the game, because you gotta remember, 2014, Ubisoft stock in terms of fan perception was fairly high. Assassin's Creed was hot, and a lot of people saw Watch Dogs coming in as another Assassin's Creed level IP, and it never turned out to be that. However, it still had this incredible premise, it still had a lot of cool elements to it, and I thought Watch Dogs 1 was fairly good. Not crazy about the story in this game. I know some people really liked Aiden as a main character. Not really, I don't really get why. I find he's very generic, but nonetheless, $5.99 for Watch Dogs, pretty good deal, and definitely a decent pickup there. Catherine Full Body Edition, 80% off for $7.99. Excellent, excellent deal on Catherine. Certainly not a game for everyone, but if you're looking for more of a trippy, narrative-driven game, this is a damn good one. More so focused on the story, and it does have some puzzle gameplay that I didn't find to be blowaway, but still pretty solid. The Full Body Edition does add another route, a couple extra routes. It adds a new girl into the main story of the game, which pretty interesting there. $7.99, great pickup for this, and it's one of those games that I feel like if you're with somebody and they're watching you play it, they'll get pretty invested into what's going on. It's not one of those games that's co-op focused or anything like that, but in terms of just watching a game, it can be pretty entertaining. So Catherine Full Body Edition, $7.99 on that. We got Prey Digital Deluxe Edition, 80% off for $7.99. Prey, the base game, Moon Crash, and Typhon Hunter, all for $7.99. I think this game is super, super underrated. I mean, I've been pretty vocal about that. I thought it was the most underrated game of the year it came out in, 2017. Incredible atmosphere. The gameplay is great, and it's got a decent bit of content for the style of game that it is. RIP Arcane Austin, they have obviously been shut down after, you know, Redfall didn't do all too well. Microsoft did end up shutting them down, which is so unfortunate, but, you know, what can you do? These are the games we play, so unfortunate. But great game there for sure. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, $8.99, 85% off for the Digital Deluxe Edition. Great deal for Wolfenstein 2. I thought this was a really solid first-person shooter. I would recommend you to play New Order first. Wolfenstein is a good time, and narratively, you know, it can get pretty wacky, but overall, a pretty fun game from start to finish, and relatively lengthy for a single-player first-person shooter, so solid pickup there for $8.99. And then lastly, XCOM 2, the collection, $9.99 on this is a great deal. You get XCOM 2, you get the DLC. I've talked about the game ad nauseum. I think it's great. It does have some technical limitations on PS4, unfortunately, and it doesn't have a PS5 upgrade, so that's a bummer, but, you know, still a worthwhile game to go through, and I would give it a recommendation. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available as a part of the Multiverse sale. Check them out for yourself. Check out ENEBA in the description box below, and you can get your PSN credit even cheaper. So shout out to them for supporting the channel, so you should support them. Thanks for watching, and all your thoughts down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.